Yo,
Hey,
I thought that was Maxwell.
you thought it was what?
Maxwell.
You thought it was Maxwell? No, it was another artist by the name of Kenny Sway.
Yeah, I really thought that was Maxwell. I was like, dang, that just sound just like that guy.
No, it's one of your actual viral videos. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing great. I was telling everyone before you got on, I was like, I have been trying to book you to do something since 2017. Our DMs go back to 2017.
Yeah,
And
that's wild.
in the midst of this corona and in the midst of this quarantine season, I finally have you live here on the show. So thank
Definitely.
you for joining me on Meet the People.
Thank
Um,
you. Thanks for having me.
no, of course.
Finally.
So before we do any interview, I always try to do a segment of Meet the People, but we're gonna do some artists. We're gonna just name that song, okay? So I'm
Okay.
just gonna say regular lyrics in my regular voice. So I'm not gonna sing them, and you have to guess what artist it is, okay?
Okay.
All right. Time will bring the real end of our trial. One day there will be no remnants, no trace, no residual feelings within ya. One day you won't remember me. Okay, you have to guess who it is. What
That's
song?
that's Pretty Wings by Maxwell.
Okay, okay, good job, good job. And the audience, you guys can chime in too if he doesn't get it right. But he's a singer and songwriter, so he should get it right. All right, this next one. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we
Bill
know.
Weathers, Lean on Me.
All right, look at you. Okay. So I had to do Bill Withers today because unfortunately he was called home and he's in heaven. But him being probably one of the most recognizable vocals,
Oh
um,
yeah,
him like Bill Withers, Lean on Me, Lovely Day. But his vocals, like when Bill Withers is on the track. So
definitely.
able to make sure we pay homage to him. So is that somebody that you looked up to?
Um, Actually, it's crazy. I was just singing "Lean on Me" maybe like last week on my live,
Crazy.
and it's he's. I want to be honest. He's not a go-to,
Yeah.
but he is somebody that I would sing. I still haven't learned. Ain't no sunshine if she's gone. Still haven't learned that one yet, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Take me to the process. What do you mean by learn? What do you have to learn?
Meaning I haven't learned that song yet.
Okay. So you have to like
Yeah.
how you're gonna like change it or
Well, basically, what I do is in the process of learning songs and stuff, I basically learn the song as it is, and then I master it and then start singing it the way I feel like, singing it as making it my own, but also still keeping that, you know, um, the element of the song, still intact. I wouldn't change anything like too left, but I'll put my own spin on it.
you got to. And I think that's really important for artists that like cover music. You don't
Hmm.
want to sing it just the way that because they've already sung it that way. They sung it that way once. Now you gotta
Facts.
Kenny Sway's version so people can like you. And that's why some people who did the song Ella May's Trip, that's
Uh-huh.
why they like the other version better because he put his own little swing on it, right?
Yeah.
And so I want to ask you, as an artist and as a singer, you've been singing for some time, but what was that moment when you realized, like, yo, I actually have a voice? Because I know you've been singing since the age of 5. But when was that time?
Yeah.
You know what? I think I want to pursue this as a career because I can actually sing.
Well, even at the age of 5, singing my first song in kindergarten, and then doing my first talent show in first grade, singing "Just My Imaginations" by the Temptations. Like back then, I knew that this is something I really wanted to do for the rest of my life, and it was just a moment of like, I mean, because a lot of people, like my family and people that's close to me, they really didn't think I wasn't the go-to guy as far as the singer was. They didn't know I had a voice
Mm.
until I got older and just really started to like sing and hone my craft. But I knew I had a voice, like back then in first grade. Singing songs like "Just My Imagination" in the first grade. There's no way a first grader should be singing any songs like that at that age. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome. And so was it something that was in your family? Was it something where I would play music on Sunday mornings or Saturday, the house cleaning, stuff like that, and you were singing along, or what was that moment? were like, oh, like you
So,
started listening?
so back in the day, my mom used to she used to buy these CDs, and it used to be like Smooth Groove,
Uh-huh.
and you remember those CDs?
I don't know if I've heard of Smooth Groove.
Oh man, so Smooth Groove was like a collective songs of oldie but goodies.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. And it would have different people. It wouldn't have the actual artist on the cover. It would be like other people, and then
Right. It'd just either say, like a simple picture, or it'd say Smooth Groove.
yeah, I got
And
you.
I used to pop those songs in and listen to them. Like, that's when I first learned Always and Forever, be
Okay.
moment with you. That's when I learned that song. Then I learned Honey, you are my shining star. So, and then it was a couple more songs, like they had Michael Jackson Got to Be There on there. They had what else? Ooh, short and sweet, drifting and dragging on destiny. You know that giant. Some
Nobody.
people were made for each other.
Oh
Some
yeah,
people got hold on a lover for life.
but you can keep going. Yes,
Yeah, so it was those songs that kind of really was mad inspiration,
mhm.
and I think, with my mother, us growing up, in a house, my mother was always, having us listen to those records and stuff like that. Like, I didn't really grow up on hip hop,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And
Yeah.
not everyone can grow up on hip hop, but those that kind of like grow up on that old school, that's where the real music was. And that makes me want to ask you, what do you think of R&B today? Is that something that you're a fan of, or are you more so a fan of back in day R&B, old school?
Um, I'm more I lean towards the old school,
Hmm.
and but I'm not a fan of the new school.
Okay.
But do I listen to it all the time? No. But if it comes on the radio and it's a jam that I like, then I'll listen to it. Like, it's just probably like a good, five finger picks that I say I like, that's playing on the radio right now. And I always lean towards the writers. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, Listening to I would just, back in the day, I used to just always be excited to get the actual book, so I can see the
But yeah,
credits and who wrote the certain song. So I think I'm more interested in who's writing the song versus who's singing it.
all right.
Yeah,
And
yes, it's gonna be a show tonight, girl. 8 o'clock.
good night, you guys. This is the pre-show before Sway versus. He's chatting with me today, and then he's gonna go into Sway versus. I am not performing. I do not have the voice, but we are talking and we're learning more about Kenny Sway, the host of Sway versus today. But Kenny, I want to ask you this question. So, as a singer and songwriter, you're also known for being a street performer. All right,
Yeah,
and that is probably one of the most challenging jobs as a singer. Not everyone can do that. Not everyone can sing live, right?
right.
What made you want to just go out on the street and perform?
So, wow, that's crazy. So, because it's like an interview all over again. Well, what made me do that is because I used to, making good money doing what I was doing, but I always knew that I wanted to sing, and it was no outlet for me at the time to go and get in a club to sing or to get booked at a show. It was very less accessible to me.
Hmm.
And one day, it was another guy who would always be singing at Pentagon City where I worked,
Hmm.
because I worked at the Chipotle.
Oh,
And one of my friends, good friends, I'm not gonna name her, but she was like, "Yo, Kenny, you should do that one day." And I was like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not singing on no street, or I'm not singing, no metro."
yeah.
And so I think I went off to have a job, and went on to continue to work. And then one day, I just said to myself, like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and try to sing at the metro one day. And I I took my keyboard and I went out inside the metro. This is way before singing outside.
Okay.
You understand? So I took my keyboard. I went out there. I think it was LaFont Plaza where I very first went. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I didn't have a bucket. I had like a little small little, brim hat. Put it out, and I would sing. Just me, no band, no microphone, no anything. It's just vocals
Mm-hmm.
and the keyboard. And I made $200 in that one day, and I was only there for probably like no less than an hour. You
Yeah.
feel me? So then I go pick up my check for 2 weeks of the time that I was working, and that was $200.
And you're like, hold up. Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm like, hold on, I'm like, this can't be right
Yeah.
because I just made this in one day, but then I just made this in 2 weeks. So that's when I realized that okay, this is I really have to take this serious, and I have to do what I need to do to perform. So I would go to work and perform like on U Street and stuff like that. Like, I would go to work, perform, and then it just got to a point where um I didn't really want to work. So now because I didn't want to work, I wasn't being the employee that I was before I started making money on the street. And
Mm-hmm.
I think some came up with my manager, said that I had to work on Martin Luther King's birthday, but I'm like, no, I'm off those 2 days. And
Yeah.
he was like, I still want you to come in, but I'm like, definitely not coming in because this is my schedule. This has been my schedule for the past year.
Mm-hmm.
Off Monday, Tuesday, work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Saturday night because I was on U Street, so the restaurant closed at 3 a.m.
Mm, okay.
So I walked in. I didn't come that Monday or Tuesday, but I
Same.
come that I came that Wednesday, and I walked in, and he was like, "Yo, can I help you?" And I'm like, "Dude, chill out. Like, what are you talking about?" He was like, "Yo, you don't work here no more." So I got fired, but I was always bringing my keyboard into work because I know after work I would do work like 3 hours a day because it
Mm-hmm.
was always like it was always busy during lunchtime and stuff like that. And I was a cashier. You understand? So
Yeah.
I was like, it was one of those restaurants where okay, we need you to come in for 3 or 4 hours during lunchtime, and then you can go type of thing. So I really wasn't caring anyway because I was still making money, street performer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what happened with that. And one thing led to another. Um, I invested in myself. Uh, Long nights, early mornings. Trying to get out there and get a spot and stuff like that. And that's basically what happened. And that's what made me start street performing. And what really made me, we're gonna fast forward back into 2017, where my very first viral video went, viral. You gotta understand all the metro stops and stuff like that. That was way back in 2014, 15.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And then I called myself moving to California. That didn't work out, so I came back early 2016, and by 2000 September 2016, that's when I went viral. So yeah.
All right. So just tell me about that moment where, because it's like you said, it's a lot of long days, long hours, right? Um, Talk to me about one of the challenges that you face, because a lot of people they see the viral videos, they're like, okay, Kenny's on his way, right? So they're
Yeah.
seeing kind of like the end product, but they're not really seeing like those nights where you're spending in those long hours. Just talk to me about that. Talk to me about what it takes to have to really invest in yourself as a singer, songwriter, and then as a street performer.
Well, so I'm gonna touch on the songwriting and that portion first because
Mm-hmm.
I was always writing songs and I was always recording at that time
Okay.
consistently. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? And a lot of people don't. A lot of people look at it and be like, "Yo, it's do you have any songs? Are you in the studio?" That's the first thing people say when they walk up to you. Hey, are you in the studio and stuff like that? And I'd be like, dude, I got songs for days. Like studio and recording and writing, that will never be an issue. So, but going that's Sorry, someone was calling me. Let
Oh,
me
sorry.
put my phone on do not.
It's okay.
My bad.
Are you there?
So
Oh, you're good.
so basically, yeah, I'm here. I'm good.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, you're good.
All right. So as far as the challenges with the long nights and the early mornings is the biggest challenge was getting the transportation to where I needed to go or where I
Mm-hmm.
needed to be to perform. And
Mm-hmm.
that was, you gotta understand, back in that time, I was carrying a gas generator and I was carrying a dolly, a speaker, a mixer, and anything that I needed to have to street
Yeah.
perform. And I was spending, look, I was spending literally, I would spend maybe at least $50 to $100 a day. You know what I mean?
Going
Get
to going.
getting back and forth to the metro because, like I said, at this time, I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
understand? So, it was, and Uber wasn't really popping in the city at the time. So I
Okay.
had I had to get in a cab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Got you.
and wherever you went in the metro, or it's been times where I was really tired that I didn't want to get on the train. I would just pack my stuff up and catch a cab straight home. You
Mm.
know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
how,
For hours. And
yeah.
you try to get back home.
So I mean, that's basically was. I mean, I don't want to say it was a difficult or a trying time, but that was a struggle. With lugging everything every single day because at that time I was hustling. Like
Yeah.
it was the grind was real, and this is way before, the viral video. Still, like the viralness ain't even come yet, and I was still grinding and doing what I needed to do to make things happen because I was determined. You know.
Yeah. And speaking of that viral video, one of them, because you've had multiple, but walk me through that video where that lady was telling you to be quiet. Because I first saw you, I remember when I first saw you, I was like walking to work because I work
Hmm.
over in that area. But then like later on, I saw that viral video. But walk me through that because you kept on singing despite her telling you, literally in your face, telling you to be quiet. And I still look at that video when I get angry. But you kept on singing, so just walk me through that. What made you keep singing, and yeah, what made you keep singing?
Well, for one, that video is extremely old,
Mm-hmm.
but it was new to a lot of people when I posted it because nobody has it. You know me?
Mm-hmm.
So so what happened was she lived over top of where I was singing at, and at this time it had to be maybe 6, 7 o'clock at night. The sun just went down,
Yeah.
and my band, we would play there. We would play there,
Yeah.
and the real reason why I didn't spaz out like I really wanted to is
Mm-hmm.
because I had a whole entire crowd in front of me. I had people watching. You know what I mean? I had kids standing out there. So, to try to if I would have said something in a mic or something like that, it wouldn't even be the video wouldn't be as epic as it is, with me just really still singing because I was like, man, look, lady, like I really don't want to disrespect you, so I'm gonna continue to sing. You know what I mean? Like I'm
Oh,
not
so you know that I can sing, and I'm not about to be quiet.
my point exactly, and I didn't really care because it wasn't 10 o'clock, and it wasn't I really wasn't bothering anybody. And then it was cold as hell. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because as you can see in the video, I was like really like bundled up, like it was cold, and I'm like, man, lady, like I ain't really got time for it, like because I was going to spaz, but I just had to keep my composure and really understand and be professional about it under the same breath of knowing that people was watching. You know what I mean? And then, of course, I got the mic and, I have control of the entire situation because I do got a mic. You
Yeah.
understand? So I kind of I didn't want to use that in a negative way. So I just kept singing and, I guess she went on her merry way and, that was that.
Okay. And so I also have to ask you, and this is probably my last question about street performing, because then I got to go into your show and learn more about that. But have you ever had a turf war? Have you ever had to fight with somebody to secure your spot? Because you talked about that kind of getting there early. But yeah, did you ever have a turf war?
Mm, so one thing about me is I'm not a drama type of dude,
Hmm.
and I know um if I want a spot and somebody's there, and I know they're not gonna make the money that I will offer them to have their spot, I'll do that. So it's never been like I'll never have an altercation with, who was here first and bing bing bow. I will literally kindly walk up to them like, yo, look, I'll give you $100 for the spot.
Okay.
And I,
Wow.
and I and I can only have $200 in my pocket, but
Yeah.
I was gonna risk $100 to make three,
Hmm.
because I know what I can do in the spot, or I know how much money I can make
Yeah.
at that spot alone. But um, I think I think I had one altercation, but it wasn't really an altercation. It was more like a misunderstanding that
Mm.
I had my stuff there, but I was unpacking, and somebody had came up and was trying to play, and I was like, yo, look, my stuff is right here. I'm playing here today, and then he like, yo, you're not even set up, and I mean, but that was here or there, but I ain't really pay that no mind. But I let him get the spot, and I move somewhere else. But on the street, it's just like we respect. I don't know how it is now, but I
Yeah.
know when I pull up, or when people see me, they're like, oh yeah, Kenny,
Pennies. That's yeah.
yeah, that's Kenny, and like I said, it's been a lot of people, even street performer who started before me. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? But I took it to a whole nother level. I took it where it's like, just investing in my sound and making sure, you know, um, I have the right sound so I can make good money. Because if you can sound good, but if your sound is trash, there ain't no point of being out there. You understand? So I had to move up in the game, and just really discipline myself with spending money, and just spending money on the things that I needed instead of the things that I wanted.
That's awesome. Investing in yourself. Okay, so everyone that's tuning in, you guys have the opportunity to ask questions. I have a few more questions that I'm going to ask, but feel free to drop your questions in. But now I want to move over into Sway Versus. I've had the opportunity to come in there and seen your live show where your comments, that section be jumping, all right? Like that is an actual show. So for people that are following me that don't follow Kenny Sway, he has Sway Versus that come on at 8 p.m. tonight, and it's the finals. But talk to me about Sway Versus. What made you want to start this?
All right, so I literally just came up with Sway versus the actual name, because it was
Yeah,
just like Kenny Sway Talent Show. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But I was like Sway versus because it got so competitive. It
mhm,
got so like singers started really to come in and be like, yo, I want to be a part of this.
yeah,
You're doing a very good thing, with your platform, and like, introducing your base to us. So
mhm,
I was like, I just wanted something. And the Sway versus kind of really came from a, open mic that I used to go to called Wednesday versus.
okay,
And Wednesday versus was a really dope open mic.
mhm,
And of course, Sway versus is really not an open mic type of thing.
yeah,
It's more like a competition, and
yeah,
I let that be known that this is literally a competition. Like,
yeah,
tonight is the winners battle
mhm,
of the 10 singers that won this past week.
mhm,
You know, so yeah, but Sway versus just came about. I was just we quarantining, and we all in the house. So I'm like, yo, I just want to do a talent show. You know
yeah,
what I mean? And when people put, a lot of celebrities do talent shows, but it ain't no competition. You know
mhm,
what I mean? They just allow people to get on, sing, and that just be it for them. You know what I mean? But I'm actually, hosting a competition where, you might have seen somebody may have seen you sing something, and they were like, okay, where'd she go? But you're coming right back because you're still in the competition. You're still in the battle. So basically, and that just came, it just came out of, thin air. Like, I just wanted to. At first, it was just kind of a friendly thing. I'm just okay. I'm having a talent show, and
yeah,
then it just got real. I wanted to turn it into a competition, and have people have them actually win. You know what I mean? And people always ask, yo, what's the grand prize or what do you win? And it's not about what you win at the moment, because you're now being exposed to everybody that didn't know who you were.
Exactly. People
Bef-
follow you and they see, yeah.
my point exactly. And then when they go live with me, their followers see that they're live, and then I'm live, and they like, oh, who is this guy? You know, what are they doing over here? And so it's just a consistent, and I've been very, very consistent every single day. Never missed a show, never canceled.
Yeah.
And one thing I will honestly say to anybody that's trying to be an artist or trying to be something in the entertainment industry, be as consistent as possible, because consistency kind of way out and it outbeats everything. I'm telling you, because once that one inconsistency will mess up the whole entire flow. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, that person will come in there and take your spot, because at that moment you missed out. That one day somebody else comes up, takes
Yeah.
that. So when I tuned in, I was low key kind of nervous to interview you, because you are not an easy person to please on that show. You was sitting there, and I was like, dang, like he is kind of hard. You were like, try it again. That ain't it. That I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But I respected it, because you need to hear that criticism. And one thing that you said was, if you're gonna meet other artists in this industry, they're gonna give you maybe like 10 seconds and that be it. Talk to me about the importance of that tough criticism, and maybe some of the criticism that you decided, hey, I want to be able to give this back to other people that are trying to become singers.
Well, as people will look at it on the inside, and we got enough time too, so we can go all the way up until like 7:50. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So
Okay. You would say no.
people, yeah, no, I mean, people don't understand that I'm being hard on them because I'm just being a dick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm being hard on them because I care and I believe in something that I'm hearing. And if you come in here and you like, yo, what are we doing? Or what is this? I'm like, yo, look, you're entering the competition right now. And I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, I'm like, yo, it's either you want to do it or you don't. Or, you gotta just take it for what it is. Like, I mean, nobody has never been tough on me to the point where, like, nobody really gave me anything, when it comes to the music. It's just more so I had to work. I had to work for it. I didn't have vocal training. I didn't take any vocal classes or nothing like that. I kind of learned strictly off of what I thought I knew. And anytime that I did go to a vocal coach, they're like, yo, what do you need? Like, what do you need to do? You
Yeah.
understand? So, I mean, I just, and the people that I know and that I believe in, even entering on the show, it's been times where, people came in and they was gonna start on a total different note
Mm-hmm.
from the original, how the original song go. And I believe that people like to sing the songs the way I sing, but I'm like, yo, be careful, because these comments, they ain't gonna play with you.
Yeah.
And I'll be literally saving them from the comments,
Yeah.
because, for an example, one girl come in, she start off, I said, no, do it over. She
Yeah.
said, huh? She said, why? I said, because that's not gonna be the right key for you to start the song on, because I knew the song, and I knew where the song goes already, and the way she was starting it was gonna go completely downhill. What she do after all? She sing the song the way she want to do it. She butchered it. So now everybody in the comments is like, yo, Kenny told you, not once but twice. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm tough because I believe in people that have really good voices, and I just want to help them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I mean, if you rather take it from me than to somebody that's really gonna dog you out.
Yeah. You go on
Or
America and you off, or people all over television are telling you you can't sing.
oh
So
yeah, because in a heartbeat they was like, that ain't even it for the show.
yeah.
Like, that's not even gonna look good on TV. You know what I mean? That's not even gonna sound good. And they're real. This is my little show right now is nothing compared to what television is. And
Mm.
I've been there, done that on television. Don't get me wrong. I ain't. It's never been like, you can't sing or you can't do that. I mean, it was just always it was just always something that, I mean, I didn't really care about it because I never stood in line to audition for anything.
Yeah.
It was always an invite, like, yo, Kenny, I can get you through the line, or I always knew somebody that can push the envelope. But after they push the envelope, that's it. You know what I mean? I think the furthest envelope that got pushed for me is when I went on Showtime at the Apollo
Mhm.
and with Steve Harvey. But I was on the show. I did my aired episode, but my episode didn't get played. So
People don't talk about that. I didn't know there was episodes that don't get played. That's sad.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. People like people coming in on this joint thinking like they getting like everything from beginning to the end.
Yeah.
Tele- Television is edited out.
Yeah.
They can take, they can take is it's magic, and that's why the media is it can be a very good thing and it can be a very evil thing at the same time.
They choose who they want to show people to at the end of the day.
Pretty much, simple as that. Yeah.
What would you say to those artists that are afraid to put themselves out there? Because I witnessed some of the people that were calling in that were afraid. They're like, I'm good. Like eh. So what would you
Um.
be afraid?
I mean, it's not too much of that I can say to them that they already probably know themselves.
Mhm.
They know what they need to do. They know the type of confidence they need to get out there and to be something and to be like nothing happens overnight. You know what I mean? Nobody gets a record deal overnight. It takes a really long while before you really want something that you really deserve. You understand? So it's hard for me to even with the amount of songs that I have, a lot of people, I mean, I exposed some of the songs last night to some of my fans and they was like, yo, Kenny, like what the hell? What you holding back for? I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just a time where it's a time for everything, and I will never release anything and not get support behind it. You know what I mean? Because they always say, hey, you got songs, won't you release them? I want to hear that. Where's that on Apple Music? But when I do release it, and then my streamers don't even look as good as people talking, I
Yeah.
be like, yo, what's the point? You know what I mean? But I would tell the artist, any artist, to keep going, to keep pressing, to continue to be consistent. Don't let nobody tell you nothing that you don't already know.
Awesome. So we're gonna go into some of the questions that were asked. Somebody asked right here. Right here. Okay. Who's a few of your favorite songwriters?
All right, so because I'm an old soul, I like Babyface.
Okay. He's going like
Um, I like Babyface. Smokey Robinson.
Mhm.
Um, Marvin Gaye was a very good song. You know what I mean? And he always
That's what
quote
that
the quote the Bible.
quote the Bible. Oh, well, the Bible too, but that's what you said.
Yeah.
Advice. Okay, so now I want to ask you. So I usually ask what's next, but I don't really like that too much. I want to. It was a girl named Jakia or Jaqui, something.
Oh, baby, don't miss out. 'Cause all you gotta do is hit me up. Zero to hit me up. No, I got you, baby. Hit me up. Into life. Baby, believe me. Sorry, I told you lies.
Mm,
I turn day into night, sleep till I died 1,000 times. I should have shown you better nights, better times, better days. So now I'ma miss you more and more. Pretty wings, so pretty wings around. Oh, pretty wings, your pretty wings around. Oh, pretty wings, your pretty wings around. Ooh. La da da da. La da da da. Da 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 da. Pretty wings, your pretty wings around. Pretty wings, your pretty wings around. Pretty wings, your pretty wings around. Pretty, pretty. Somebody gonna love you.
Woo! That was perfect. That was perfect. That took everything out of me not to sing some ad libs in there because I was ready to go, you know. But
Oh man.
I wasn't about to ruin what was happening on my live. Well, that was absolutely amazing, Kenny. I'm so glad that I could bring you on to meet the people and that my people could get to meet you and we could get to know who you are and how amazing you're out to be and how amazing you already are, but just how amazing you're about to be and the people that you're going to continue to touch and elevate. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Definitely.
That was here, just know that you guys can go and hear more. See Kenny as the host. See Kenny not being the nicest person, but being extremely real on Sway Versus, which is about to be on live in 3 minutes. Make sure you guys tune into that. And yes, that falsetto. Not everyone can hit that falsetto. But yes,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on to my
Man,
show.
appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yo, Trey, man, come through, man. He was a